adapt to being a Kenyan. And I'm using that term very relatively because problematic history between Kenya and Somalia, but yeah. Yeah. So for me, I think like my dad bought me a how to speak Somali CD the other day, and I've listened to it once. Why?
Because life also is happening.
Life is happening, but again, like I feel like I could do better. At least try with that, you know, with the CD. Write things down. When I wake up, maybe say numbers.
They should make ethnic languages part of a language choice in high school, or like in school, or like international schools also. Because we only have Swahili and we have German and French, but you don't have Luo, Luya, like Kamba, nothing. So you can't learn like.
How would it work if we have like 40 something plus tribes?
No, but it could be a choice because if it was your family, then you'd have to
choose.
do.
But then who's gonna provide that service? How many language teachers will
they
you
are
have?
there though. If they're paying, if these people are traveling to Kenya to pay for translators to translate to them, there are people who can teach. They're still teachers anyway.
Oh, you didn't mean it like in this.
I mean in the
school system. I don't. It's gonna be hard to execute. My mother, I talked to my mom. Like there was one day we were in the car and I was just like, yo man, what's gonna happen? Our language is just going to disappear because none of my peers are speaking. We don't speak our mother tongue.
My mom
and this we are new, money, hardworking. I mean, our parents, that's what they are. They're new money, hardworking individuals. So what she said was, why are you even worried? Everything will be in English eventually with technology. And I was like, wow. She's like, you need to move on, basically. That's what she told me. And I was like, wow, how can you be so jaded?
Yeah.
But then again, I was like, you know what? She has a point, because I was always giving examples like I can't even go and hang out with my cousins from her side because we're not on the same, like we don't have the same lifestyles and we don't have the same economic means. So my mom's, she has 11 siblings, so her side of the family, I've got dozens and dozens of cousins, and I love that side, that's the fun side. But I can't communicate with them. We have a family reunion every year, and it's on the day of the birth of my mother's father. See, I don't even call him my grandfather, and the woman who I'm named after, Jessica, is my grandmother, but I never got to meet her. I was born because of her. My mom even said she did that rhythmic measuring. She's like, I need to have this girl, she's gonna be my mama, but I don't know her, and I can't even call her my grandmother. So apart from it being a language distance, I feel like the distance is like passed on from our parents. Like they've dissociated so much of their pain and like their struggle trying to be successful in an African continent with Western money and Western success, that they got that and they've just become complacent, like, yo man, it's giving us this roof, it's giving us these luxuries, you don't need to worry about that. The industry that you're going to be in, they're not going to worry if you know how to speak Kamba.
Yeah, they want to hear your English. They want to read your English. How well can you write? How well can you speak? Well, like, how well can you answer telephone and no one can know your race?
My dad, this is how he says, this is how he picks up the phone. My dad's name's Peter Mule Macau. Peter Mule Macau on the phone. Like what? Peter Mule Macau on the phone. Like, who is that? Who is that? And you see what I mean? Like just what she said. It's so conditioned that it's like so it's the way that it's supposed to be.
And they look at us and be like, yeah, shouldn't you be happy? You sound the way you do. Like, come on, you know.
But again, it's much easier to talk about it than it is to actually sit down every day and make the effort. Like I'm complaining that I can't talk to these cousins, I can't communicate, but I'm not there hitting them up, hey, can I come to your hood? And immersing myself in that language. So it's also our responsibility. Like how much can I let it hold me back?
Yeah.
But then again, my father let me go to those neighborhoods. So it's still them. They're still holding us down.
My dad and my mom, like, especially my mom, when I was younger, she only used to speak to me in Luo. Like
nice,
so
man.
I guess that's why it's stuck some of the times. And then I stopped speaking it for a while because you speak English so much, and then now when you start speaking Luo, the way that people from Shag speak Luo, they look at you and they're like, yo dog, what are you trying to say right now? And then they just make fun of you, but it's okay. And at the end of the day, in Shags, no one else communicates in only Swahili. English, it's a bit hard for everyone else, but then it has to be Luo, so I kind of appreciate that I didn't lose that, because even with my mom, I still try also. Like, I'd rather have our conversations in Luo.
So what's your accent like in Luo?
It's just wide. Abrechwadi, that's I'll beat you, or Idinade, that's like very white. It's always like Idinadi. Like with
they will know that you don't speak this often,
kind of thing.
Like dainty.
Yeah. But my
we call them kababi. You'll sound like a kababi.
Kababi.
Like a Barbie doll. Like
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also, you're not surrounded by people who speak the language all the time. So that's another thing. If you were around them for like an hour, like for a year, your vernacular would be, your language would be much better. Yeah, because you get used to the words it becomes easier to learn. So you just have to immerse yourself there. So maybe all will not be lost, but it's up to the person.
Powerful.
Languages.
Thank you. That was all of my thoughts put into like a nice stream. But like, wow, thank you, wow.
Thank you for making us think.
Yeah, thanks for that question.
When you first said it, I was like, Ish, what? When she first posed the question, I was like,
yeah, that's what I was like, give me a minute.
It makes you introspect quite deeply.
Yeah.
You're such a maniac. You have an answer though. I know you do.
Ask the question again.
You know,
what do you think about the idea of the colonization of a mother tongue?
Of a mother or another?
Mother.
I only noticed it yesterday. He puts the sausage in a damn
Yeah,
mouth.
bro. Yeah.
And then so
That's
the
true.
close-up of her face, and the big screen is like.
And it's, I understand like how that weaved from that question, because I was over there asking.
And then there's a little small screen.
And it's so like, I think important that that's where it goes, like a natling. And like, I remember my brother being in high school, and he used to actively speak. So we all went to these private schools with like majority white people, and we were in boarding schools. So like, 4/5 of the year are there, and like he would make an active decision to surround himself with black people, and of course speaking people there because it's the Eastern Cape, but black people, they would speak closer, like they to each other, etc. But I even remember a couple of times in my school at DSG, and a couple of times in my like, school career there, where they like banned it, because they're not allowed to ban it, but it was banned. You know, and then I remember going home and my brother saying to me, but he's like 6 years older than me, and him saying to me, you must watch how you speak, watch what you speak. You can't speak as close, and they like needle at me and make fun of me. And I thought, and this is the thing, I realized like it might be a masculinity thing, but it's a way of trying to signpost, like, we know what's gonna happen if you keep speaking English and you don't speak Xhosa, like as this kind of a balance. And like then going home and there being like a family gathering, but between us and like our cousins, and a big family gathering. And them, like the older generation, going through like all of the young ones' names, what they're known for and who they are. And I wasn't even there, like I was like sleeping in the car. And they were like, they say, where's this one? The one who speaks English all the time. The one, she just speaks English and you can't even hear what she's saying. And then I was like, okay, that's hella. And that's like, it hurts, you know? But that is also, it's exactly that thing. It's no one, it's for me, it's what I've done. And of course I was not aware, and I had been conditioned, and you know, I grew up in conditions, you know? So I didn't actively do it to myself, but I did do it to myself. And and like how grateful I am for awareness and consciousness, like to understand that this is what has happened, and this is what is still trying to happen on a daily basis, and I can choose myself because of it. And I really, it's hella. Colonisation, language, the tongue. So Umva, have you seen Umva, babe? If you're interested in
Umva?
Yeah. Me and Misa Mpuleng, we did this film with Jesse Zin called Umva, and it's about the colonized tongue and the colonized black female body, and this thing of Nami in it. She speaks about trying to being in high school and trying to pray in Zulu, and she couldn't. Man. Like I'm better at it now because now I do what my brothers did in high school. I consciously choose to speak, and I realized like they weren't making fun of. They were trying to say, even the other people they're like, oh, we don't understand you. We're trying to find a way to make it light, because it is a power dynamic being able to speak English. It is an authoritarian thing that you immediately assume, and it's also the way of dealing, and you know, like that society, the black society's way of dealing with this thing that's fine. But like now consciously choosing to speak is closer, and that when people are like haha laughing sometimes about how you speak and how you speak it's an insecurity also in them, and also in just about this whole thing, you know?
Yes.
You know, and then and people, and once you, and depending on how you take it, because there's a way to take it where they make fun of you and you're like, oh shit, how do you say it? Okay, and you immediately not even just immediately, you just keep talking like you want to be in this community, you want to go home, you know? So now like here I consciously choose to, but before I used to have to translate in my head into this closet, and then I would wait, guys. People are having a conversation. It's riffing. It's happening. Even, bruh. And like you know the things. You want to say the things, but you also have to make sure that you're saying the right thing in the right, and then no one's gonna make fun of you. And then, because also you're gonna just
will be lost.
You know.
Because they won't even get the punch. They'll be like, you said this wrong. Are you
trying? And then they're like, you trying? And then becomes like, you know.
Translating and just waiting for, I know that this little nugget of a sentence that I have is going to be relevant again just now. I'm just
That's so good.
Waiting.
What's this show? Where is it? Where can we find it?
Umva. It's on the, it's not on the internet. It gets screened sometimes, but we have copies of it. And like if people request it for things, then we can give it. But it's probably also in UCT archives because it belongs to UCT. You know, guys, everything that you're doing here is intellectual property of UCT.
What if you change it?
What do you mean?
Like you like change something in the thing, then do they still own that thing? Because now this is different.
Look at the contract. I'm not sure, but we did sign contract.
When did I sign a contract?
When? Have you read every single thing? I'm so surprised that film doesn't make people sign things. Okay, drama school we sign a lot. Like rights to your image, rights to the work you create, rights to do what you want with it.
That's good.
I kind of saw something like that in the MOU I had to sign.
Yeah.
I really feel like they actually made me do that for nothing now, because that, like the thesis course, it makes no sense to pay for it when I'm not submitting it this year. So I submit it next year, so I don't pay for that course next year. So the MOU is something that's only relevant next year. But they made me do this thing.
They just made you do
wait.
work for
Like I took it to him and had to wait 2 days to sign it. And now I realize when I registered that I don't even need. They didn't, like I was like here. They're like, oh no, if you're only gonna do the course next year, then like it's fine.
It's fine. They literally said it's fine.
And meanwhile, like Yellow and I spent like 2 hours writing it.
No, dude, that's so rude. That's disrespectful.
You know.
You look like such a vision with that Y surrounding you.
It's so hella cool. I'm such a fool.
Wow.
Just me. I wanted to flourish in the sun by the dam. You know, I was going to bring that silk rope, and I was like, wow, chill the fuck out.
Remember, like an